Hi, I'm Chelsea, and I'm one of the dietitians here at Phoenix Children's Hospital. And today I'm with Alexis. And Alexis, how old are you?
13.
13 years old. Alexis is going to be helping me make trail mix cookies today. So we have a wonderful recipe that you can make at home with your family or with your friends. Alexis, do you bake?
Kinda.
Kind of. What are some things that you've baked before?
Cakes.
Cakes?
And brownies.
Very cool. So she's going to be a really experienced helper for me today. If you have any questions while we're doing this recipe, or I might ask you a couple questions that I want some answers to, you can dial 3399 and we can either answer the questions for you or you can answer my questions. Does that sound good to you?
Yep.
Okay, so there's lots of yummy ingredients in these trail mix cookies, but they're pretty easy to make. We have some of the ingredients over here, and we're going to start from step one and go all the way down, so it's going to be really easy to follow. So one of the first things that you would do if you're at home is preheat your oven. So it's going to be to 350 degrees, and that's usually what we preheat an oven for when we're baking. You're going to need a couple different things. So you're going to need some bowls at home and then some utensils like a spoon, maybe a fork or a whisk. And all of these things are going to help you make these cookies nice and fast. So the first thing that we're going to do is mash some bananas. So the recipe calls for 1.5 bananas mashed. So Alexis is going to help me with this. Can we undo one banana? And then I'll undo the half. Got it? You want me to get it started for you? Bananas can be extra gooey, but that's a good thing for this recipe. We want them to be a little bit brown and a little bit soft. That's going to make this recipe really, really moist. So you can go ahead and start mashing that one. A fork is usually the best way to do this. You can also sometimes use a whisk. You want to try that one? That might be a little easier for this. And just push it down perfect. And again, we're going to do 1.5. This is a super small banana, so I might do a little more than a half. Perfect. Now, if anyone knows what nutrient is in bananas that helps our muscles, and if you've ever had like a muscle spasm or maybe you feel your arm tingling, sometimes you'll hear someone say, eat a banana. So if anyone can tell me what nutrient is in bananas that helps with that, give us a call. Again, the number's 3399. Okay, perfect.
Do they need more?
No, I think that's pretty good. Excellent. So Miss Alexis mashed our banana for us. She did a great job. You can do it kind of as thin or as thick as you want, but she did a fabulous job. So we're going to take that mashed banana and we're going to put it right into our larger bowl here. Okay. Awesome. So this is one of our wet ingredients. A lot of times you'll hear wet and dry ingredients when you're baking. Bananas is going to be a wet ingredient. So we smashed our bananas. They're nice and smooth. Now we want to start to add some of those drier ingredients to this. So I think the first thing that we're going to grab is the coconut flour. So can you pass me along the flour? Perfect. You can go ahead and pour that right in there, actually. Now, coconut flour is cool. Do you know why? I know you said you like coconut flavor, right? So coconut flour can be used in recipes that are gluten-free. So sometimes wheat can give different people a tummy ache and it just doesn't feel very good. So they might eat gluten-free. They might be allergic to gluten, which is what's found in wheat. Coconut flour doesn't have any of that in it, so it's perfect for a gluten-free recipe, and it tastes good, right? Yeah, we like that flavor. So now we need our oats. So we're going to use 1.5 cup of oats. Go ahead and pour those right in there. Awesome, thank you. And now pour about half of that one in. Little more. Perfect. Do you want to mix that up for me? Can you mix left-handed?
Yeah.
There we go. Perfect. So we have 2 dry ingredients and 1 wet ingredient in there. Our dry ingredients are the oats and the what kind of flour?
The coconut flour.
Coconut flour, and then the dry ingredient is bananas. Okay, the next thing that we're going to add to this is cinnamon, another dry ingredient. So let's find the cinnamon. Perfect. Cinnamon adds a little bit of spice. Sometimes we'll put cinnamon in things like oatmeal or different recipes like this one. It's really warm tasting and it adds really good flavor when we bake. Okay, Miss Alexis, it looks like brown sugar. Awesome. Go ahead and pour that brown sugar and then give that a stir for me. And we are using 1/3 cup of brown sugar in this recipe. Brown sugar is a little different than white sugar. It stays a little bit more moisture in the recipe as well. It also has that warmer flavor, which goes really, really good with the cinnamon. Perfect. Excellent. And again, that's 1/3 cup of brown sugar, lightly packed. So we don't need to smush it in that cup. We just want it to sit in there all nice and light and fluffy, and that'll be our 1/3 cup. The next thing that we're gonna add is salt. And I don't see salt, that's okay. So you just wanna put a little pinch of salt. So you can use whatever kind of salt you like. In the recipe, it says pink salt. I use pink salt because I think it's pretty. There's really nothing special about it. You could use regular salt at home. And that is perfect. So the next thing that we're gonna put in here is walnuts. Do we see the walnuts? Excellent, go ahead and throw that in there. So walnuts are really good for a specific part of our body. Do we know what part that they're good for? Can you take a guess?
Your bones? I don't know.
Your bones? That's a really good guess. It's actually your heart. So walnuts have a special type of fat in it called omega-3 fatty acids. Have you ever heard of that before? Yeah. So walnuts are considered a heart-healthy nut. And so it adds a little something special to this recipe that's nice and healthy and also good for us, right? We want to keep that heart nice and healthy. Okay, so we have our walnuts. I think that we're going to probably start to need to add some more wet ingredients because it looks a little dry, right? So what are we missing? What's the next wet ingredient that we have?
Milk.
Milk, very good. So go ahead and pour that milk right in there for me. We are using unsweetened almond milk. What kind of milk do you drink at home?
2%.
2% milk. You can switch. You don't have to use unsweetened almond milk for this recipe. We just chose to use something a little bit different, but you can definitely use a 1%, 2%. You could use coconut milk if you wanted to, add a little bit more coconut flavor, which Alexis and I really like, so that would probably taste pretty good, huh? And I think now we're ready to add some oil. So I see a little teeny cup of oil over there. Go ahead and throw that in there. Perfect. So this is 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. And we have that over here as well as the coconut flour. Again, we're just doing something a little different. I am going to tell you how you could use regular flour as well if you don't like coconut in just a little bit. You want to go ahead and give that a stir for me? Coconut oil has a really pungent smell. What does it smell like to you?
To me, it just smells like the beach.
The beach. I agree. I think coconut oil definitely smells like the beach. So these cookies are going to smell really good as you're making them. Excellent. Little more. Perfect. You're doing a great job. You said you've cooked some cakes before at home. What's your favorite kind of cake?
Pineapple upside down cake.
Pineapple upside down cake, that sounds delicious. If any of you watching have favorite cakes that you'd like to share, make sure you call in and let us know. And maybe we could do a healthy version of a cake on TV next time. That'd be kind of fun, right? Yeah. Okay, awesome. So what's left? What do we have over there?
We have peanut butter and raisins.
Peanut butter, raisins. We have this egg. Right? So what we're going to add next is 1 egg. Have you ever cracked an egg before? Yeah? Go ahead. Can you do it for me? Oh my goodness, one-handed. That was awesome. No, you did a great job. I am not that skilled. I cannot crack an egg with one hand. That was really impressive. So we're going to mix in this egg. And some really neat things about eggs. Eggs have a ton of nutrients, and all those nutrients are actually in the yellow part of the egg. So sometimes we might use egg whites in a recipe, and sometimes we might use the whole egg. The whole part of the egg is actually really important because it does have a lot of nutrients in the yolk. Sometimes we hear the word cholesterol, and that might scare us a little bit, but it's okay to have a little cholesterol in our eggs every now and then. It's just another fat that we hear about and talk about, and our body produces it as well. So it's okay to have a whole egg sometimes. Okay, so we added 1 egg. We're missing the peanut butter. I think that's a really important thing to add next, and it's probably extra gooey. So let's see if we can get it with this spatula. It's nice and extra gooey and extra thick. Do you like peanut butter?
Kinda.
Kind of. Peanut butter is actually one of my favorite foods.
I like it in like cookies and stuff.
You like it in cookies? Okay. So in this, we have 1/2 cup of unsalted peanut butter. I chose to use unsalted peanut butter so we can control how much salt goes into the recipe. So sometimes when we're baking or if we're following a special diet, maybe the doctor tells us don't have too much salt, then this is a good way to help control that salt, is to use different products that don't have salt in them, like unsalted peanut butter. How do you think it smells so far?
Really good.
Really good. I didn't even ask you, do you like bananas?
Kinda. Yeah, I like them.
Okay, bananas and peanut butter are like the perfect match for me. Okay, so now that this is looking really wet, we're gonna add the last of those oats because those oats are gonna help soak up some of that moisture. So go ahead and pour those in there for me. Perfect, excellent. Now, do we know what's special about oats? We didn't really talk about oats yet. No? Have you ever heard of the word fiber? Has anyone else ever heard of the word fiber? Yeah? Fiber is really good for lots of reasons, and one of those is to keep that heart healthy as well. We talked about that earlier, right? So fiber is really, really good to help keep our heart nice and healthy. We talked about cholesterol too, and how sometimes that can be a scary word that we hear. Fiber helps lower cholesterol, so oats are a great way to help do that. Okay, we're missing some sweet stuff in here, aren't we? So what are the 2 things that we have over there?
Raisins.
Raisins.
And cranberries.
Cranberries, excellent. Go ahead and pour those in there for me. Perfect. Do you think you can mix that?
Yeah.
Okay. Alexis is going to go ahead and mix that for us. I'm going to talk about fiber just a little bit more because I think we hear the word fiber a lot, right? And we don't always know what kind of foods have fiber in them. So we know oats do, right? Do we know anything else maybe that you've heard that has fiber in it? Nothing comes to mind?
Not really.
So actually fruits and vegetables have fiber in them as well. So we just kind of put some fruit in there, right? We put our raisins and our cranberries, and it's dried fruit, but that's okay. That's still going to have fiber. But things like apples have fiber, berries, lots of things with skin. So if you're eating an apple, you're eating that outside of the skin, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to be really high in fiber. You know how you hear that crunch? That crunch is fiber. Carrots do the same thing. You hear that crunch? That's fiber. Okay, so fiber's found in a lot of things, and it's really, really good, not only to keep that heart healthy, but it actually helps us go to the bathroom too. So just an extra little fun fact about fiber in there. All right, so this is gonna be a really chunky recipe. I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but it's really thick. Right? Yeah, it maybe is going to look a little thicker than your normal cookie recipe, but that's a good thing. You want it to be nice and thick because what's going to happen is we're going to have a tray and we're going to scoop little individual kind of round balls, maybe about the size of a golf ball. Have you ever played golf? Yeah, so about the size of a golf ball or a ping pong ball, and we would put those on a grease tray to go into the oven. Do we remember what that temperature was that we said?
350?
350 degrees, excellent. Now let's take a look at our recipe and let's see how long these are gonna cook. How long does that say?
20 to 25 minutes.
20 to 25 minutes, or
Until the edges become light brown.
until the edges become light brown. So that's very important. Sometimes we read a recipe and we think, oh, we have to follow it to the T. But it's okay to look at things like, what color's my batter? How does it smell? If it's burning, we're not gonna leave it in there longer,
No.
are we? No, we're not. So we're gonna put them in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes or until they're a light golden brown color. Now I see some over here that are already done. Should we look at them? Okay, let's show them on screen so everyone can see exactly what these look like. Okay, so we see that golden brown color, right? And we know that they're done. So even if it hasn't been 20 to 25 minutes, we would take these out of the oven because they look done. So let's kind of go backwards and let's talk about some of the things that we kind of already discussed, but I just want to make sure that we know exactly what we're doing when we go to make this recipe, right? So we have lots of different ingredients. Let's go through them again. We used oats.
Oats.
What else did we use? What were some more of those dry ingredients?
Raisins.
Raisins, very good.
Cranberries.
Cranberries.
Walnut.
Walnuts, excellent. What type of flour did we use?
Coconut flour.
Coconut flour, and again, if anyone remembers why sometimes we might use coconut flour for different special diets, if you can tell me maybe what coconut flour doesn't have in it, that's important for people who maybe can't have a certain type of food because it upsets their tummy. That would be an awesome thing to call in and tell me. What else? So we said coconut flour, oats, we talked about the cranberries, the raisins, the walnuts. What else are we missing?
The cinnamon.
The cinnamon,
And the brown sugar.
the brown sugar, excellent. What were our wet ingredients?
Banana.
Banana,
The almond milk.
the almond milk, very good.
And the coconut oil.
And the coconut oil, fantastic. You have
And the peanut butter.
And the peanut butter. You have a great memory. And I know it's not just because the
No.
recipe's right here. No, she remembered that all on her own. So we mixed all these ingredients together. It went pretty fast, right? Yeah, quick and easy recipe. It bakes for how long?
20 to 25 minutes.
20 to 25 minutes or until golden brown. These are delicious. They have lots of different healthy foods in them. We talked about a lot of things that help keep what part of our body healthy?
Heart.
Our heart healthy, which is really important, like oats. What else?
And
What was the nut?
the walnut.
Walnuts. She's excellent. Oats, walnuts,
Nuts.
nice and high in fiber, and those omega-3
Threes.
fatty acids, okay? So really simple and healthy recipe. If anyone has any questions, I'm Chelsea, I'm the dietitian. My partner Alexis here might know a little bit more than I do, so she could answer some of your questions as well. And we would love to hear them, so give us a call. We want to hear from you. And if not, I mean, are you going to make these at home? Yeah? I'm probably going to make them at home. Is anyone else going to make them at home? Yeah? Yeah? Yeah, Mom's saying yes, we are. Awesome. Thank you guys so much today for listening to our recipe and helping us bake. And we really hope you give these a try, right? Awesome. Thank you so much.
Bye.